Yo, what up, y'all? I'm back with another video. And if you're one of those people that's lucky enough to be privileged, guess what? It means it is invisible to you. Yes, privilege is invisible and beneficial to those who have it. It benefits you to the point that you don't even realize that you have the privilege. There are so many people now who are privileged enough to get by every day and not have to deal with the same issues that other people have to deal with, that they do not even know that these issues exist. That's how you know that privilege is invisible to those who have it. I just saw a video, watched a video with Ice-T, you know, the famous rapper slash actor who was on so many seasons of Law and Order. And I loved Ice-T's music. I even liked his role on the show. But in this video, Ice-T was definitely wrong because he tried to use his privilege. What privilege does he have, you might ask? Well, for one, he is extremely rich. That man has made millions of dollars from just the show alone. Not music. We're not even going to include music into it. He has made millions of dollars off of that show alone. He gets paid maybe thousands, hundreds of thousands per episode. So yes, he was stopped by a police officer on the side of the road, driving a Panamera Porsche. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's a beautiful car. It is actually my dream car that I will own one day. But he was stopped by the officer who was very polite to him. And instead of Ice-T being polite to the officer, guess what he does? He starts getting an attitude with the officer. So now, of course, you're thinking, while you're watching the video, well, Ice Cube must be in the right. The officer must be wrong. There's no way the officer is wrong because Ice has such an attitude with him. But guess what? No. Ice-T was definitely wrong. Ice-T was in the wrong. He didn't have no type of license. His license was expired. Now, let it be a person such as myself, such as yourself, driving with an expired license. Guess what? Oh, you're definitely getting in trouble for it. So of course you're thinking, yeah, he's going to get a ticket for it. But Ice-T doesn't see it that way. He doesn't seem to believe that he should get a ticket. So the officer, again, runs his tag. His tag is expired. Oh, so your tag is now expired. And guess what? It was expired from 2021. Yes, it is 2025. His tag has been expired since 2021. Let me get in a car that's been expired for 4 or 5 years, and I get stopped. You know what they're going to do? They're going to tow that car away. So that's exactly what the officer tried to do. The officer tried to reason with him, but Ice-T wasn't hearing it. He got an attitude with the officer. So in return, the officer started getting an attitude with Ice-T. And he told him, I'm going to tow this vehicle. What does Ice-T do? Oh, he gets even angrier, jumps out the car, approaches the officer. I'm talking about face to face, calls him an asshole. Yes, an asshole. Let me do that. We'll see how that ends for me. And those of you who are watching that are all about the police brutality, police brutalize black folks, Ice-T is black. He might be a little on the light-skinned side, but he's still black. So yes, he did not shoot Ice-T. He did not push Ice-T. He told him to step away from him. But guess what, though? Ice-T had that privilege. He was using his privilege, rich privilege. He knew that they weren't going to do anything to him. So now the officer calls for backup, and his superior comes. His supervisor comes. Ice-T is talking to him. He's letting him know. And they already know who he is. Come on, let's be real now. Who hasn't watched Law and Order? Special Victims Unit, SVU. So those officers knew exactly who he was, especially the supervisor. So the supervisor got Ice-T off. He told the other officer not to tow the vehicle. So he tried to talk him out of even giving him the tickets. Let it be you and I. You know what would happen? Do you really believe they would let us park our car on the side of the road and then come back to get it? You really believe they would let us walk away from there with no ticket at all? Well, the officer still decided to give Ice-T 4 tickets, which I agree with. I mean, you did wrong, and just like me, I would be given those 4 tickets. You should be given those 4 tickets. I don't care how rich you are, but it's that privilege of having money and being extremely rich. That's what Ice-T used to get himself out of that situation. And then at the end, it gets even better. At the end, the officer tells Ice-T, well, if you decided to treat me with respect, I would treat you with respect. Ice-T says, I don't have to. Yes, Ice-T says, I don't have to. I don't have to treat you with respect. For what? I'm rich. I have that rich privilege. So yes, privilege is invisible and beneficial to those who have it. You do not even know that you have the privilege. You just use it. It's just like anything else that is natural to you. You just use it. And Ice-T used to be one of those people rapping about F the police, we don't need the police, all of that. And he gets in the officer's face because he's rich, because he knows he has that privilege now. He knows that if he was a regular, normal black man in America, it probably wouldn't have gone down that exact same way. So yes, he used his privilege. Some of you women, ladies, you have pretty privilege. And don't tell me you don't, because you know you do. Pretty privilege. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, of course. That's the bullshit that they tell you. That's the shit that they tell ugly people. Let's just be real. If you're a beautiful woman, you know that you have pretty privilege. If you're deemed as an ugly, unattractive woman, then you know pretty women have pretty privilege. You get made up, throw that makeup on. You may go out one night, stand on line. I guarantee you won't be standing on that line for long. Get inside of that club, get inside of that bar, get inside of that concert. I guarantee you, you will not have to pay for anything. No drinks, no sections, no bottles, nothing at all. Why? Pretty privilege. What man is not going to pay for you? What man is not going to pay your way? What man who finds you attractive enough is not going to lay his jacket down on the puddle so that you can cross? That's a metaphor, by the way, if you haven't caught that. But what man is not going to do that? Because you're pretty, because he deems you as beautiful. Now, if it's an unattractive woman, if it's a woman that he is not attracted to and he thinks is ugly, hell no, he's not doing any of that for you. You better have money to buy your own drink, because pretty privilege is another privilege that is beneficial to women who have it, to the point where they do not even know they have it. What's another type of privilege? Let's see. What about color? Skin color is another privilege. Yes, there have been situations where a person of a lighter skin tone will get a certain thing before a person of a darker skin tone. For example, I have been out and about with friends before, and I had on exactly what I have on now, and they would not let me into a certain place because they said that is not dress code. But guess what though? My peers of a different tone, skin tone, of a lighter skin tone, yes, a lighter skin tone, a very lighter skin tone, the total opposite of this dark skin tone, they were allowed in with the same thing. They had the very same thing on and they were allowed in. It's privilege. You have that privilege. I know women who have talked their way out of speeding tickets. Female privilege. Yes, that's having female privilege. That's the privilege opposite of male privilege. Males usually don't have privilege because, let's be real, the world don't care about men. The world does not care much about men at all. We are building and we keep this world running and we keep it going, but guess what though? Nobody cares because it's our job, right? That's how they look at it. So I know women who have been able to talk their way out of speeding tickets, I'm talking about doing 80 in a 55, and all they had to do was smile at the officer and he let them go. Even if she wasn't attractive, she was still a woman and he let her go. So that was female privilege. So yes, privilege is invisible to those who have it. Privilege is beneficial to those who have it. So sometimes you need to use that privilege in order to get what you want. Yes, I'm telling you, sometimes you need to use that privilege in order to get what you want, but make sure that it is not only beneficial to you, it is also beneficial to those around you. Because that means you are putting yourself in those people's shoes. You are allowing yourself to have empathy for those who do not have that privilege. So help out your fellow man, help out your fellow woman. Do the right thing. And if you get stopped by the cops, I suggest you give them all of the documentation that they ask for, because you are not Ice-T, and they will not take it lightly if you disrespect them in the way that Ice-T did. Now, if you're rich, yeah, they may let you get away with it. So you may want to get your money up. And if you're not an attractive woman, you may want to hit the gym. You may want to, become attractive to the opposite sex, because then maybe you'll be able to use some of that privilege that you did not have. So pretty privilege is a thing. Sex privilege is a thing. Yes, those are actual things that people deal with every day, and some people have while others do not have. So if you get stopped by the cops, comply, be nice, and be respectful, unless you're rich. Until next time.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.